We all want love, but most of us don't want to date to get it. Because let's be honest, dating kind of sucks. But maybe it doesn't have to if we actually know what we're doing. Hi, I'm Kira Sabin, and this is Reinventing Dating, a smart and sweary podcast for all singles to learn the mindsets and skills to date with intention and confidence. Join me weekly as I break down the science and psychology behind what's working in our dating culture and what isn't. Every week, I bring a new topic, trend, skill, or mindset that can help us get out of our own way to learn how to date for relationships that we actually want. Because love isn't broken, but dating kinda is. But I'm reinventing it. Let's do this. Well, hello there, sugar pans. Fancy to see you here again. Welcome to a very special bonus episode of the Reinventing Dating podcast. Sometimes I surprise myself and do things that I didn't even think I was going to do. But I spent the day yesterday, or part of the day, on a dating app on Hinge for a client. And I wanted to come over and talk about it because it was interesting. And I have thoughts that I want to add on to our conversation. So here is a short and quick bonus episode of what it was like as a married dating coach on Hinge for an afternoon with a very cute, slightly grumpy, quite old dog snoring in my lap if you hear it in the background. Okay, guys, so let me set up the stage here. I'm not on dating apps and have never been. Danny and I have been together now going on 10 years in 2024. And even when I was single, I did not want to be on dating apps. I've never liked the premise, never really felt like dating apps did plus-size people a favor, and I am a plus-size woman. And there was just something that always felt a little gross and off to me, I'll be honest. However, I have been doing this for 15 years. Through the years, I have had clients who have wanted to date on apps. And if they ask, I'm going to A, help them do it as smartly and safely as possible. And B, sometimes I even help them. So through the years, I have gone on my clients' favorite apps of choice and walked through profiles with them. Not to ever make fun of them, not to ever put somebody down, but to point out healthy and sometimes unhealthy behaviors, to see when there's a lack of boundaries, to see when they have maybe a fixed mindset. You'd be surprised on what you can get from very few things. Honestly, and especially when you talk about this and know about this all day. So since I have been talking about online dating for quite a while now and how much I don't like it, I have a client who lives in LA, which is admittedly a tougher dating scene because she's like, there's nothing on the apps. I'm like, you do live in a major metropolitan area. I want to see it. She's like, all right, I will give you access to my Hinge account and go on there. Tell me what you see. Tell me if I'm missing something. And I'll be honest, it's kind of fun for me, right? Happily married for years and years. So I would, like I said, I never went on there to ever make fun of people. I think that anybody who is putting themselves out there, who is trying to actively date and meet people should never be made fun of. Maybe you're not their thing. I don't think that anybody out there who's trying should be made fun of. I hate bad date making fun of people, Facebook groups and all of that shit. I just think that's some of the grossest part of the dating culture. And I also think those kind of mindsets keep us stuck, keep us in a really weird space in our head, and certainly don't help inspire or give hope to us. But anyway, I talked to my client. I love this client. She's actively dating and really struggling. And I'm like, how can I help? I love you to pieces. How can I help? So I'm like, I'm going to hang out on your Hinge for the day. I want to look at what's around you. I want to see if I see anybody who could maybe be a great person to go on a date with. And like I said, I actually did that for about 3 to 4 hours yesterday. So I put some real good time in. Danny joined me for part of it. I threw it up on the TV so I could get his thoughts too, with permission from my client, who knows Danny and thought it would be great to have his take. So here are things that I noticed going through Hinge dating app in the LA area yesterday as a married dating coach. Number one, you can't get shit off these profiles. You really can't. So I was actually pleasantly surprised at the app, meaning that the way that it's laid out, it's very bright and fresh. It's easy to read. It's easy to scan people quickly, obviously, with pictures and little quotes and things like that. But of course, this is still going to be a super shallow, superficial dating app because the majority are pictures. There is people, and I don't know how much you have for options. If it's basically like, we recommend 5 pictures and 3 quotes or 3 things about yourself. I don't know what they're recommending. I don't know. So I can't say that. But I will say that looking through this, most of these gave me so little information about people. Now, some of it were the users, some of it was the app, but I couldn't get like enough of a hold on basically anything to say, yes, I think you should reach out to this person. So it's so easy to go, okay, no, I guess not. Okay, no, I guess not. Because I'm not looking for something superficially for her, right? Like I'm looking at pictures, but not much. I'm looking for the content. I'm looking for the audios that they had, which I thought was a nice touch. Hinge. I'm looking for what people are sharing. Like somebody yesterday said, I'm crazy about gratitude and the growth mindset. And I'm like, ding, 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 ding. I don't know how you would use this to date because, especially on something like Hinge, and I've certainly looked at Match.com profiles through the years, Tinder, all the things. Like, I have had clients, I have friends, but there's not enough to find out to say yes to any of these people. So it forces us to be superficial. Okay, I think they're cute. They're in my area. We match up on sometimes drinking, no smoking, doesn't want kids, whatever it is. There's kind of those gatekeeping, which is exactly what I think that if online dating should be doing, putting you in front of people who want similar things than you, who possibly have similar values to you, things like that. But you can't. And this is why I'm pissed off right now at dating apps, because these are multi-billion-dollar companies. How do they not have more people like me who know what good relationships are, who know how to create healthy relationships and how to help people find and get the information they need for healthy relationships? I'm frustrated by them choosing to share a travel story, which I thought was a great touch, or what food you're going to buy for the table, and not get into any kind of meat of it, which I'm now going to say also pisses me off because it makes me know how much they want to make money because we're not asking people to step up at all. We're not asking people to, hey, if you want to be here meeting people and you're paying us, well, we're going to do you the favor by asking you actual legitimate questions that could help somebody figure out if they want to go on a date with you. Isn't that the whole point? That's the whole point. I'm irritated that they are feeding that frenzy, that, and what I'm about to talk about, gamification of love to keep users on versus pushing people to say, hey, if you're going to be here, let's dig in. Who are you? What can you share that's clearly appropriate for a dating app, right? I don't want people sharing their trauma. And by the way, lots of people did, whether they knew they were or not, in their answers. It is fascinating. And they didn't think that they were sharing it, but they were. And if you work with me, you actually recognize that and know that. But you can't really get enough information off of these apps to help you. So then it's just confusing, or I don't know, maybe, or then you're asking lots of people and it feels like a numbers game. So the next point I want to make, number 2, is that it feels very gamified, which isn't really great for anyone. Now, that word means something to me because I teach courses online. In online teaching platforms, the last few years, they've added something in called gamification. And being the kind of person that I am, being a person who loves to add fun into what they're teaching, I love gamification. Gamification can mean that you get points for completing things. Gamification means you can get badges or bonuses, or if you do this, that, and this, you get a free something. And it makes people want to stay on apps. It makes people want to learn more. And it's great for learning because it keeps people interested and motivated, which is exactly why I love to use it. And I'm usually looking for apps that have a little part of that to help my clients just stay in the game, stay in the course and keep motivated with it. And we see this on a lot of different types of apps. You'll notice that beverages do this now, like Coca-Cola or McDonald's. People have points and there's different things that you can earn. And it's all to get people to either stay on their app, to come to their restaurant, to keep coming back, whatever it is. I get it. It's part of the world of consumerism. I don't think in some areas it's bad at all. But I will say that knowing about gamification, I could not help but feeling like I was in some kind of weird dream of online shopping for boyfriend for my client, online shopping for a potential partner for her. And it just makes it so easy to detach from it, to detach from the idea of these being real people with awesome qualities and not so great stuff too, and everything in between. But it becomes so easy to almost disassociate from the goal, which is, how do I learn enough about this person to see if this is somebody that I want to meet up with in real life? That's the only goal that we should ever be using online apps for, as a tool to meet new people that we wouldn't meet on a daily basis. But I mean, I probably went through 200 people yesterday for her, only finding a handful of people, not because I do think that there's probably plenty of people on that app who would have been a great date for her, but I didn't get enough information from either them or just the app in general to say, yeah, I get it. Take your time off, your money, your energy, and go hang out with this person who you don't know. It feels like a game. And it feels like a game that you can't fucking win. Because maybe you do connect with somebody and then they ghost you. And maybe you do connect with somebody and then you get really excited and you show up and you're like, no, not my thing. Or maybe they're not interested in you. And so there's just a lot of hassle and hustle and energy being spent on something that I don't think is really creating that many results. And honestly, I don't think love and your future fucking partner or spouse or parent of your child should be gamified, it's 2 steps up from fucking Tron. What are we doing here? This isn't what love is. This isn't what love is about. As a reminder, if you haven't listened to my episode on love, or better yet, done my free workshop on what love is, then you know that love is about 2 people coming together, about working through things, about having similar values, similar relationship goals, all of this. How would you ever know that from these profiles? I just feel like this is doing love an injustice. And I don't like it. Number 3, and this was what I shared. We were just talking last night and riffing, and I was like, here's my takeaway from the day and how I get your frustration and all of. But this is an avoidance dream and an anxious attachments hell. Abso-fucking-lutely. This is just triggering the fuck out of both attachment styles and probably disorganized too, because they are a combination of avoidant and anxious. So what do I mean by this? If you're an avoidant, you may want love, you may want to date, but you are always holding love at arm's length. You are keeping people away from you because ultimately you're scared of intimacy. You're scared of being hurt or hurting others. And so your avoidant attachment style makes it so that it's hard for you to really get close to people. So let's say that's the way that you maybe don't even realize you feel about life, how you act about dating and relationships, and then you go on a fucking dating app. The other thing about avoidance is they're looking for the fairy tale. They're looking for perfection. They're looking for like the dream relationship. Everything about dating apps just gets you looking for a perfect match, which doesn't exist. You are literally swiping your way to loneliness. And this is an avoidance dream, right? Because you say that you are out there dating. You say that you are looking for someone. You are on these apps. But because love and intimacy feels so scary to you, this just is such an easy way for you to be dismissive. Which is exactly what avoidants are. It's called avoidant dismissive. It's easy to just say, nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Nope, not that one. Because nobody's going to be a perfect match because that shit doesn't exist. And then this is going to be an anxious attachment styles hell. Now, I'm an anxious attachment style. I always am sharing that. I am now in a secure relationship with Danny. He was an avoidant. I was anxious. But it's hell because if you are an anxious attachment style, one of the things about you is you really, really, really want love. You really, really want to be in a relationship. It feels really, really shitty when you don't have one or aren't trying. And everything about dating apps is like anxiety inducing, right? You're like, oh my God, I'm going to put myself out there. I'm going to reach out to this person. And now you're waiting with unknowns. Or maybe you've been talking to somebody and you ask them out and now you're waiting with unknowns. And most of us have not done emotional regulation. We don't have coping skills. We don't have things in place to help us get through those moments. And so we subtly sabotage without even knowing. We glom onto somebody quickly or too quickly to really know them because they seem interested and keep telling us that they like us. Which, by the way, gets us in trouble with people like narcissists and love bombers. Because they come in like a wrecking ball telling you how much they like you, although you know in the back of your mind it doesn't really make sense because they don't know you yet. But it makes you feel so good because you don't have to sit with unknowns. You don't have to sit with, is this going anywhere or not? But you have to. That's part of dating. It's why anxious attachment styles hate dating and we don't do it very well. And by the way, avoidants don't do it well either. And disorganized don't do it all that well either. And I don't think that there are a ton of people who are single are naturally secure. So this is why dating feels so shitty right now. Because anxious are over here waiting for the text where it was a lot easier 30 or 40 years ago because we just realized people had lives and there wasn't phones everywhere and there wasn't easy and instant ways to contact each other. But I can see how if you were on apps, how this would be triggering people's attachment styles and sabotaging them without them ever knowing it. and they think they're actively dating and they think that they're actively trying, and they're not. They're just not. More than ever, I stand by what I said. I get the appeal of online dating and dating apps. It feels empowering to be able to sit in our house and look for potential people or love or whatever we think it's going to be from the comfort of our couch. But that doesn't mean it's working. And as I've mentioned on every one of these episodes, I'm here for love. And the only way to love is through healthy relationships. And the only way to healthy relationships is dating with intention and knowing what the fuck you're actually doing. And that's what I teach. You're not broken. Love isn't broken. Dating is. But we can be doing small things together to change the culture. It doesn't have to be like this. I'm going to be here working on it. Join me. Go check out the What is Love workshop. If you're inspired by these podcasts, I have over 300 of them that I've done over the years and are now just behind a $20 a month paywall. So you can listen to every thought I've ever had in my head about love, dating, relationships, my life, and everything in between. And if you're ready to start working on this, to start changing it, to start creating an actual plan for yourself that includes self-awareness, includes understanding what you personally need, includes knowing how to date in your area, knowing how to spot and find available people, I got you. reinventingdating.com about it. All right, guys. If you loved this, and my gosh, I hope that you did, please subscribe. Please leave a review. I read every single one of them. They warm my fucking heart. And please share it with everybody you know that could benefit from talking about how to reinvent dating. I'll be announcing the new season in the next couple of weeks. I'll actually be talking to people in the podcast membership as well as over on Instagram. So if you have thoughts about what you want me to talk about next, I'm open. I'm breezy. Let's do it. All right, guys, that's it for today. I will see you soon. Happy holidays. And until we meet again, remember to meet love halfway.